Welcome everybody to the 15th chapter called Purushottama Yoga. It's a very, very important chapter. In fact, even this day, a lot of people chant this chapter before eating food. In a lot of ashrams, this entire chapter is sung before eating food. And so things have gotten diluted these days. So in other ashrams, they at least chant from the 14th shloka to the 20th shloka before eating food. So this is an extremely important chapter, and it's one of the two shortest chapters in the entire Bhagavad Gita with only 20 verses. But a lot of verses are in Trishtuk meter and hence very beautiful. As usual, we would like to acknowledge Swami Paramarthananda Saraswati for the traditional rendering of Vedanta as it was done for over 1,000 years, starting with Adi Shankaracharya. We will say a small prayer. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Partyantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Salutations to the lineage starting with Lord Sadashiva, with Adi Shankaracharya in the middle, and continuing up to our immediate teacher, Swami Paramarthananda Saraswati. With that, we will go to where we left off last time. So, okay. So we covered until the 5th shloka. So how is this chapter organized? So for that, let's see here. Okay. The first topic we've seen is samsara. The Ashwatha tree describes samsara. This is covered in 2.5 shloka. Shloka 1, 2, and half of 3. So here, if you remember this verse, na rupam apseha tatopalabhyate nanto na chatir na cha sampratishta. That describes samsara. This form is not perceived, neither its end, nor its origin, nor its existence. And then it goes into the second portion. The second portion is moksha praptihi sadhanani, spiritual disciplines leading to liberation. So we've covered until 5, and there ashvatamenam suviruda moolam asanga shastrena drudena chitva. How do you cut the samsara tree, or how do you escape from the samsara? The way to escape from the samsara, cut the tree means not for everybody, just for yourself. So there are 4 compulsory disciplines for moksha. Vairagyam, dispassion. The moment you crave, you get trapped, hooked. Then the shoots start coming. Remember, the sap that is provided to retreat, it's all the gunas and the buds that come. That's a desire for the sense objects. That's why the buds come. So this is the shocking thing. Our next life, the body that you're going to take in the next lifetime, it's determined in this lifetime itself. So a branch represents your body, and all the shoots the shoot that is coming in, and some other shoots the next lifetime, maybe another lifetime, all those are the shoots. And it is what nourishes it. The gunas nourish. That's the sap. Okay. So Brahma Vichara, inquiry into the root of the samsara vriksha. That is the Brahma's Atman, the nature of your consciousness. Then Sharanagati, complete surrender. Nirmana moha jita sanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama dvandvair vimukta sukha dukkha sanyai gacchantya moda padamavyayam tat. Then sadgunaha, values to maintain a healthy mind. So these are talked about till shloka 5. And so this is where nirmana moha, jata sanga dosha, and all this we've seen. Now we will go into the 6th shloka. So now back to Anushtup meter. Now it talks about all the how to um, get out of this samsara or moksha prapti sadhanani till sixth. Okay, now we will go into the sixth shloka. Natad bhasayate suryaha na shashanko na pavakaha yat gatva na nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. So in the previous shloka, it talked about nirmana moha, free from pride, conquering the defect of attachment, ever dwelling the self, all that, and they reach padam avyayam, tat padam avyayam. That imperishable padam means the goal or the end. They, these undiluted wise people, they reach that imperishable goal. Now it's going to explain what that goal is. This goal, natad basayate suryaha, this place, this called Brahman, the sun does not illuminate it. Now the light is given a very special example in Vedanta, because light is in the presence of things. You in the presence of light, you know things, right? So you also use the word I am enlightened. Enlightened means you know. So light lights up and reveals things. So and in the Brahman, sun does not illuminate. In the earth, everything is illuminated by the sun, nor the moon, nor the fire. That is my supreme abode, attaining which they return not. Natad, that place. Bhasayate surya. Sun does not illuminate. Bhasati means illuminate. Na Shashanka Basati, the moon does not illuminate. Na Pavakaha, Shashanka is moon, Pavaka is fire. Yadgatva, having reached that place, na nivartante, people don't turn back. That Taddhama Paramam, that place is my supreme Paramam. Mama Paramam Dhamma means that's my supreme abode. Dhamma is abode. Is it clear? So, in the previous verse, it was mentioned that the seekers who follow the fourfold disciplines will attain that undecaying padam. And that padam is now described. That's the Brahman, which is the root cause of the universe. This shloka is an important shloka because it is a Brahma Lakshana shloka. What is a Brahma Lakshana? Lakshanam is a feature, quality. What is Brahma Lakshanam? A verse that defines Brahman. So this is a very important shloka. Any verse that defines Brahman is a very important shloka. Wherever Brahman is defined, that verse considered important. This exact verse occurs in both Katha Upanishad and Mundaka Upanishad. Now, I've told you this before. The entire Gita, is Gita a original teaching? Can somebody tell me if it's original teaching?
No, it's Krishna taking it from the Upanishads.
Yes, copy, ditto, word by word sometimes. So, and Krishna doesn't make any qualms about it. He clearly says, I taught this to Vivaswan. Vivaswan manave praha manur ikshvakave prabit evam parampara praptim imam rajarshayo viduhu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. In the passage of time, this teaching is lost. So I'm again giving it to you. So it's been there. It's same, my teaching in the Upanishads. I'm again giving it to you. Bhagavan very clearly says that entire Gita is a borrowed teaching. There's not an iota of original thing in Krishna. Everything you can find in the Upanishad. That's why it's called Sarpopanishado Gavaha Thogda Gopala Nandanaha. Krishna is like a cow herd milking all the cows of the Upanishads. So we should remember that. So the light, now coming to light. So when people say, can you throw some light upon this particular topic, it means can you shed some information, and also the word enlighten. So the light in the analogy of Brahman is used to light, and it is beyond all the lights we know. What lights do we know? Sunlight, moonlight. Moonlight is nothing but sunlight. And there is fire. So all these, it is beyond all these lights. So it is that consciousness. So this is the shloka that comes in the Mundaka Upanishad. Neither na tatra surya bhati na chandra tarakam. Sun does not shine there, not the moon. Tarakam with all the stars. Nema vidyuto bhanti. So the lightning does not shine there. Kuton Kutonyam agnihi. So what to say of the fire? Kuta, what is, even if sun and the moon are not shining there, can you say of the fire? Tameva bant anubhati sarvam. So um, everything shines anubhati after him who alone shines. Tasya basa sarvamidam vibhati. By his light, all this shines variously. So nothing shines. It is its light which is causing everything to shine. And that Bhagavan will say next. So in Vedanta, as I said, light means that in whose presence things are known. So every sense organ can be compared to your light, because every sense organ is that in whose presence things are known. Brahman is that which can never be illumined by nor known through any light. This is the message of the shloka. Anything that is known through a pramanam. So what is pramanam? Pratyaksha, Anumana, Agama. These are pramana. Pratyaksha, Anumana, Agama, Pramanani in Yoga Sutra Sitkam. Pratyaksha is Prati Aksha, seeing, directly seeing something, then you know. Anumana is like wise people, when they say, or the scriptures say, you believe that. Very authentic source. Sorry, that's Agama. Anumana means inference, so inferring something. So Brahman, it cannot be known through a pramana. It is anything that is known through a pramana is called a prameyam. Anything that is objectified, known, illumined through a pramanam or an instrument is called a prameyam. Krishna says Brahman is that which is not an object of knowledge. It is not a prameyam. It is Brahman is you, that which knows. Okay. So so in Vedanta, it's logic. So this you have to remember. Vedanta just negates anything that is not an object. So Brahman, it says not object, not object, not object. If it is not any object, what could it be? Can anybody say that? Brahman is not object of anything. So what could Brahman be? Anybody? You've listened to this 15 chapters, so by this time you should know. Brahman is not an object of your sight, hearing, or anything. So what is Brahman then? Lataji, go for it.
I'm just going to say oneself or within oneself.
So it's called subject, correct. Yes. Brahman is the subject. It is you, the perceiver. How do we know Brahman exists? If there exists a Brahman and it is not the object of any knowledge, there's only one answer. Brahman is the subject, that is I or you, whatever. Adrushto drashtaha, ashruto shrotaha, the unseen seer. Adrushto drashtaha, drashta is the seer. Ashroto shrotaha, unheard listener. You cannot hear Brahman, but Brahman listens. Avijñato vijñata, the unknown knower. You cannot know Brahman, but it knows everything. This is quoted in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. How far to travel to reach Brahman? Yat gatva na nivartante. So reaching Brahman, yat gatva, having reached. So it's not a physical event requiring time and a process. Reaching Brahman is an intellectual event. And what type of intellectual event it is? It's an event which involves dropping a misconception that I am different from Brahman. So that's why in Vedanta, Aham Brahmasmi, I am the consciousness which is wearing this body as a cloak and which has the mind as this inert entity that goes on even when the body is destroyed. All this we'll see now. Once I know Brahman is the very Atma, that is I need not even travel even a millimeter, because by the very knowledge, we have discovered the fact there is no distance between Brahman and me. Now, 6 till 6 we have finished. Brahmana Sarvatmakatvam. Brahman as all the jivas, and Brahman as also the Jagat. So this we will see. So this is the core. I mean, most of the shlokas fall in this category. So with the 7th shloka, Krishna is entering a very important topic. Brahmana Sarvatmakatvam. In the 4th chapter also, Krishna introduces this topic as Brahman as everything. Brahmarpanam Brahma Havihi Brahmatnau Brahmana Hutam Brahmeva Tena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. Some people say the shloka before eating. What it means is the oblation is Brahman, the fire is Brahman, what is put into the fire is Brahman. Everything is Brahman. Basically, the whole world is Brahman. The actions you do are Brahman. The actions go to is Brahman. Okay, so the performer is Brahman. So the Brahman is everything. That's what it's meant by the shloka. And why did they use they used the example of a yajna? Because though in those days they did a lot of yajnas. So that's why that example is used in the 4th chapter. Now, very important. So this is very important shloka. This tells about the subtle body. Mamai vamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha manashashtanindriyani prakritistani karshati. Now this shloka, we have to divide it. 15.7 and 8 go together, but not fully. One portion, the first half, 15.7, is one portion. The next half goes with 8. So let's see. Mamai amshaha, a portion of myself, jiva loke, in this world of the beings, jivas, jiva bhutaha has become. And what kind of jiva bhutaha? Eternal, it's a eternal, sanatana jiva bhutaha. Bhutaha means become. So, mama eva amsha, just a portion of myself, jiva loke, in this world of beings, jivas, Sanatanaha Jiva Bhutaha. It has become the eternal Jiva. So, Jiva, what is Jiva? We've seen this word many times. Can anybody define what Jiva is? How do you define Jiva? Jivatma, Paramatma. What's the difference? Anybody? Hey, go take a guess. Ravi, you can guess. Tell me.
Is it like there is a Prakriti part of it and a Paramatma part of it, right? Jivatma, the way that I understand it, is probably belongs to the ego, or that helps us to act in the world, and Paramatma is like the universal consciousness.
Yes. Slightly, yeah, not exactly, but I'll tell. So you have to remember this. There is the gross body, right? And within this, there's a reflecting medium called the mind, which is the subtle body. Subtle body also includes prana and everything, but let's say the mind. And then what is the mind reflecting? It's like the sunlight is there. The mind is reflecting. Let's go to that picture. It's a picture. There is, I had the picture somewhere here. Anyway, so the sunlight is there. The sunlight is reflected on all these mirrors. Yeah. So you have all these mirrors, and sunlight is water. So the pot is like the physical body. Understood? Everybody understood this part? Water is like the subtle body. Where is the reflection taking place? It's taking place in the water. There is one sun, Brahman, but there are many reflections. So in each of us, there's a reflection. If the water is discolored, the reflection is not good. So our minds are all different. That's why the reflections are different. This reflection essentially, or you can say the reflection plus the water, the subtle body, because without the water, there's no reflection. This entire thing is called the jiva. So the jiva refers to your subtle body plus the reflected consciousness. The water alone, so whenever there is water in a suitable place, there is a reflection. If the water is underground, is there a reflection? No. The water has to be in a suitable form to have a reflection. So the subtle body itself is inert, it cannot reflect. When it is in a suitable part, it will reflect. Understood? So this is jiva. Jiva is the reflected consciousness. Primarily, you can also include the subtle body, because they go together. Without the subtle body, you cannot have a reflection. But the subtle body is inert. The jiva, when it says jiva, means live. What causes the liveness? It is the light. It is a reflection. Understood so far? See, you can, all Vedanta, it has to be studied through examples. So please pay close attention here. Now, light bulb. There is electricity in the grid, right? Now the electricity flows through the filament. Filament is like the subtle body. Only that can create light. So electricity is there everywhere, but the filament, the bulb comes alive. So the glass is the sthula shariram, the physical body. The filament is like the subtle body, because only the filament can glow. There is electricity in the grid, but when it flows through this filament, that is electricity is called the reflected consciousness. Okay. Now here Bhagavan says, and Krishna tells jivas, all pervading Brahma Chaitanya, which is reflected in our body mind medium, reflecting medium. So it's called body mind reflecting medium, because to house this water, you need a pot. So everything is needed. Without that, you won't have a reflection. Another example is moonlight from the sun. So the light that is reflected, it's eventually everything is sunlight, Brahman. But you see moonlight. If the moon surface is red, sometimes in all the Star Wars movies, you see a red moon, you see two moons, all that, right? So it's like that. The quality of the reflection depends on the reflecting medium. In the same way, our mind-body complex is like the mirror. The original consciousness, the Brahman, is the original consciousness is Brahman. The reflected consciousness is Jiva. The body-mind complex is called the reflecting medium. The reflecting medium does not have any sentiency on its own. Body is inert. Mind is inert. Just as mirror by itself is not luminous. Okay, very important. Now, see, this is a very important point. What happens after death? Okay, this is explained here. मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति शरीरं यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात्. Okay, let's see. First, I'll read the whole thing. When the Lord, here Lord refers to the Jiva. The Jiva, it is the subtle body reflecting the sunlight, or subtle body plus the reflected consciousness leaves the body. He or she pulls the five sense organs with the mind as the sixth. And it very clearly says Prakritistani, abiding in Prakriti. They are inert, completely inert, but because of this consciousness, it just pulls everything. And when the jiva, the Lord, acquires another body, it says he, you can use he or she or it, he goes into the new body grasping these, like the wind carrying scents from their sources, Very, 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 very important shlokas. Okay, let's look at the meanings. Yat cha api utkramati. So let's look at that word first. Yat cha api utkramati. Shariram yatcha api utkramati. So shariram is not mentioned. It was mentioned on. So shariram yad avapnoti, when he leaves the body, when he acquires the body. Yatcha api utkramati. Avapnoti means acquire. Utkramati means depart. So first acquire, and then you have to reverse this for meters sake. It's reversed here, but you have to first read Shariram yacha api utkramati. When the Lord, the Jiva, leaves the body, Shariram is the physical body, Manaha Shashta Indriyani Prakritistani Karshati. Karshati means pulls. So the Jiva pulls the mind, Manaha, as the sixth sense, along with the five senses, Indriyani, Manaha, Shashtaha. That is this mind, that's the sixth sense, along with the five other senses. It pulls, and where does the go? And then Shariram yat avapnoti. When the Lord acquires, Lord refers to the Jiva, acquires a new body, then Grihitva etani. Grihitva means grasping. He just grasps all these, grasping all these. Grihitva etani, grasping these. Etani means these. Sangyati. Sangyati means goes. How does the Jiva go? Vayuhu gandha nivashayat. So like a wind carrying sense from their original sources. Vayur gandha ashayat iva. Like the wind carrying sense from their sources. Ashayat means from the source. Root is asana. So our seat, from their seats. Like a wind carrying sense from their sources. Like that, when the subtle body, which is powered by the reflected consciousness, leaves, it pulls all these senses. Doesn't mean the physical ear. It means the cognition behind the ear, and all the memories, the mind, everything is taken and goes into your new body. So that is what moves. It is like the imprints. You have a lot of imprints in the body. That entire imprint is moved. But it is just an imprint. So when you go into the new mind, it's a reflecting medium. It'll have some of the imprints, maybe a little lower, but it's still there. It is in the subconscious. Very, very important point. Is it understood? So we saw, the main thing is Brahman is appearing in the form of Jiva as a reflected consciousness. Jiva is subtle body plus the reflected consciousness. You can also include the pot, because Jiva, you won't have a reflection if there is no pot. But usually Jiva is a subtle body. It's essentially the reflected consciousness, but Jiva is essentially a reflection. But to have a reflection, you need the water. So you can include the subtle body. But Jiva is essentially a reflection, reflected consciousness. Brahman is like the sun, the original consciousness. There's only one sun. Jiva is like the reflected sun, reflected consciousness, which needs the water, which is a subtle body, plus sun, original consciousness, plus the ghatam, the pot, which is the gross body. If there is no water, there's no reflection, even if the sun is present. Without reflected consciousness, the body is also dead, contrarily. Okay, so if you close the lid of the pot, it's gone. No reflection powering the body. So, Mamaeva Sanatanaha Amsha. So we already talked to Amsha means portion, refers to the reflection. Mama, mine, refers to Brahman. See, Krishna uses the word mine in different contexts. Sometimes it refers to pure consciousness, Brahman. sometimes it refers to Ishvara. And what is Ishvara? Can somebody say that? Lataji, can you say what is Ishvara?
I'm sorry, I'm blanking out.
So how do you define God? What is God? We've seen this hundreds of times. Take a guess. What is God? Ravi, can you say?
God is just like any other deva, right? Or maybe reflected consciousness itself,
No,
but like
it's God. So now I have to again start the entire Gita. God is Maya plus Brahman. We've seen this over and over and over again. So in 7th chapter, Ishvara refers to Maya plus Brahman. So Maya is the unmanifest matter. So God, as the entire universe, 10th and 11th chapter is fully about that. Ishvara has the 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 instrumental cause. Nimitta Karanam is Brahman, and the Upadana Karanam, material cause, is the matter. So Maya is the unmanifest matter. Then because of the consciousness, it's manifested as matter and energy. And it's shaped by this instrumental cause, Brahman, into the sun, moon, asteroids, earth, people, everything. Okay? So Bhagavan, when he says I, sometimes it refers to Devaki's son, sometimes it refers to pure Brahman, sometimes it refers to Ishvara. So I think it's good if you revise each of the chapters' points to ponder, because essentially this is Vedanta. There are only a few points, but if that is not clearly understood, then all this will be like some loose talk. So there's a systematic order. So try to go over the points to ponder at a minimum, so that way you understand all these points. So we've again and again see Ishvara is Maya plus Brahman. Maya is the latent form or the unmanifested matter, and when it gets manifested, it becomes matter. So Krishna is very loose in this context. So we will see that word I as a physical person, Devaki's son, with birth, death, etc. 4th chapter, he says, Saevayam maya tedya yoga prokta puratanaha bhaktosi me, my bhakta, sakha cheti, you are my devotee and friend. So I will tell you this profound secret. Rahasyam hi etad uttamam. This is a profound secret which I'm going to tell you. Then in the 11th chapter, this is all Krishna's use of the word I as a physical person, Devaki's son, with birth. I was born on this date, everything. It's not died yet, so he hasn't said that. Saketi matva prasabam yaduktam. He Krishna, he Yadava, he Saketi. Ajanata mahimanam tavedam. Maya pramadat pranayena vapi. Krishna, so Arjuna says, ignorant of this glory of yours, thinking that you are my mere friend. So, oh Yadava, oh friend. So here Krishna's Ekarupa Ishvara, the God incarnated on earth with a human form and acting as friend, father, son, husband, etc. So here it is the usage of the word I. This is the lower nature. So Ekarupa Ishvara, because Krishna is born, and he has to obey the laws of nature, and he has to die. The visible personality of mine is only my inferior, lower material nature, but my real higher nature is the Nirguna Chaitanyam. Remember, I asked a quiz question, and Lataji, you should remember that because you didn't give me the right answer at that time. I asked which is Krishna belonging to the lower Prakriti or the higher Prakriti. So Apara Prakriti or Para Prakriti. Apara means lower, Para Prakriti means higher. So I asked Krishna, where does he belong? Krishna is God, but Krishna as a God belongs to the Apara Prakriti. The only thing which is the Para Prakriti is the pure consciousness. Apareyamitastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam daryate jagat. The seventh chapter, Bhagavan says, I have a superior nature. All these things which are mixed with matter, there is consciousness everywhere. It is the consciousness which is making the electrons go around, everything. So everything is powered by the Chaitanyam. But when it's mixed with matter, it's not in its pure form. So the pure form is the Brahman. Then there is a usage as all pervading Virat Swarupam. Bhagavan says, Maya prasannena tavarjunedam rupam param darshitam atma yogat tejo mayam vishvam anantamatyam yanme twadanyena na drashtva purvam. So he says, by me who's pleased with you, I'm showing you this form of mine without end and a beginning. That refers to the cosmic form, Virat Swarupam. And then Arjuna says, Aneka Bahu Dara Vaktra Netram. I see many infinite forms, Lord of the universe. Pashyami De Vishveshvara Vishvarupam. Vishvarupam, the cosmic form. That is the second one, where he says, when I says I see and me, that is that. Then there's the excuse me, Nirguna Chaitanyam. Avyaktam Vyaktimapannam Manyante Mama Buddhayaha Param Bhavamajanantaha Maumapyayam. Those who lack discrimination, not knowing my supreme nature, whose changeless and unsurpassed, know me, who is the formless and manifest, as one endowed with a manifest form. So I here is the formless. And up, so this is the one I quoted. Apareyamita swanyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam daryate jagat. This eightfold nature, all this mixed with mind, um, all the five elements is my lower prakriti. Distinct from this is my higher nature, which is the very life element by which the entire universe is sustained. This is Brahman, the universal consciousness, the highest form. Okay. Shankaracharya says here it refers to Brahman. Okay. So again, analogy of the consciousness in the body. So the bulb is like the stula shariram, physical body, filament, sukshma shariram. Electricity in the bulb is like the reflected consciousness. Electricity in the grid is like Brahman, or the original consciousness. We saw this, our three bodies. I would strongly urge you to take a look at this this presentation and also the video. So if you go to my website and search our three bodies, you'll see the video also. That's very important to understand. And what happens to Jiva during death? Yachapi utkramati, when the Lord, that is the Jiva, departs, this Chidabhasa Jiva is called Ishvaraha here. So Ishvara means different things. Here, Lord refers to the Chidabhasa. The Jiva does not die, not even during Pralayam. The Jiva, the reflected consciousness, drags the entire Sukshma Shariram in search of the next body. And the next body, how do you pay the rent for the next body? The rent paid for the next body is the karma earned in this and the previous lifetimes. Okay, in Pralayam, it goes into a dormant state. And then again, as the Karana Shariram, we saw the Karana Shariram. So here, so this is how our life and death is. When you see this, so all this will otherwise look like some kind of arbitrary theory, but if you probe into it, it'll make a lot of sense, and your outlook towards life will be different. Otherwise, it's just some book knowledge. It's like reading Shakespeare. I can say I have a feather in my cap. I've read Shakespeare. I've read Vedanta. I have a feather in the cap. It's useless otherwise, right? It's how your outlook towards life will change when you see the big picture. Less stress in life and and more accepting of situations. Sthula Shariram, the gross or the tangible body. So it is a abode, sukha, dukkadi, bhoga ayatanam, abode for transaction, sukham and dukkham in this world, pleasurable, painful, and neutral experiences. And the advance rent you pay, you already paid the rent using previous. So this rent you're paying for this lifetime is the previous lifetime's karmas. And now you're here, you are already deciding the next office you're going to, next abode for transactions. And what are you going to pay the rent with? Whatever you've saved in your bank, that's karma from previous lifetimes, and the karma earned in this lifetime. Understood? So that is the analogy. Shrotram chakshusparshanam cha rasanam granam eva cha adhishtaya manaschayam vishayan upasevate. Presiding over the organs of Shrotram, hearing, Chakshuhu, seeing, Sparshanam, touching, Rasanam, tasting, Ghanam, hearing, smelling, Evacha, etc. And also Adhishtayam. Adhishtayam means presiding. Manaschayam, also the mind. I am this, Jiva, Vishayan upasevate, experiences or enjoys the sense object. Vishayan refers to the sense objects. Okay, so the Jiva is the reflected consciousness. It is the one which is perceiving everything. It is not pure like the reflection, the sun. It's kind of the reflected consciousness because of the reflecting medium not being pure. It's kind of little so. But even with that, it's still light and it is perceiving everything. Do you see? Light is that in whose presence things are known. So it is using the golakams, the ears and everything. And what is this consciousness? It is the power of perception. Understood? And it experiences the sense objects. Chidabhasa, the reflected consciousness. Whenever there is light, you will know. Whenever there's a reflection, you will know. It may not be the perfect light, but you will still know. Do you understand? The reflected. That's why different people operate differently, because their reflections are different. Any questions here? Is this understood, this point? Lataji, any questions?
I do have a question, but I thought I'll wait till the
Okay,
end.
we'll wait till the end. Okay.
Yes.
Chidabhasa, the reflected consciousness, the entire Shukshma Shariram it carries with it. Shukshma Shariram includes the 7 subtle organs. Pancha Jnanendriyani, the hearing, all the sight, smelling, all that. Pancha Karmendriyani, hands, speech, power of evacuation, power of reproduction, all that. Pancha Prana, 5 pranas, Mana and Buddhi. You can also include Ahankaram and Chitta, but 17 or 19, but usually people include 17. Next body can be a tree, in which case only some sense organs like the sense of touch will be used. Others, there's power of perception, but the golakam is not there. The sight golakam is not there. The organ of sight is not there for a tree. We can be a tree in the next birth. Okay. Utkramantam sthitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam vimudānānu pashyanti jnana chakshushaha. Okay. The verses 7 through 9 are the preparatory verses. So, and now this is a crucial verse which states that Brahman is recognizable in every activity of the individual for the discerning mind, just as the invisible electricity is discerned in the function of the electrical gadgets. In every function of the jiva, Brahman is discerned. Okay, so here Atma cannot be seen, but it is anumana, inference. Because a fan moves, why does a fan move? Because of electricity. Why does a bulb glow? Because there's electricity. If so, sometimes when we lose power in the house, we look at the neighbor's house to see if there are lights glowing there, right? So then you infer, oh, there is electricity. Like that, when the being becomes alive, there's consciousness. So the deluded ones um, do not see what utkramantam, that which departs, sthitam, that which stays, um, and bhunjanam, that which enjoys, gunanvitam, and it's conjoined with the gunas. Those who possess an eye of wisdom, they see. Vimuda, that is the deluded ones, na anupashyanti. They don't see the one that departs, stays, enjoys, and it's conjoined with the gunas. What departs, stays, enjoys is a reflection. Okay. Jnana chakshushaha, eye of discernment. Sthitam means residing in the body. Bhunjanam, experiencing the world through the shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, and gandha, the sight, hearing, taste, touch, smell. Vimuda are the indiscriminate people. Physical eyes see only the moving fan, but I have a third eye called the Jnana Chakshusha. The Jnana Chakshusha tells me that there is something, invisible electricity behind that fan. Vimuda, Charvakas. So they think that the body has its own consciousness. Their philosophy is eat, drink, and be merry. It's called Charvaka Matam. Charvaka people do not believe in God. They say body has got natural life. God need not enliven the body. It's materialistic philosophy. So most people in the world these days, they are materialists. So they just believe in eat, drink, be merry. So that those are called the Charuvakas. They are called the Vimudas, the indiscriminate ones. Yatanto yoginaschainam pasyantyatmanyavasthitam yatantopyakritatmanaha nainam pasyantyachetasaha. And the yogis who strive, they see this consciousness residing in their own self. That's their body. Self refers to the body. Atmani avasthitam. Atma here refers to body. Remember, I've told you this many times. Atma just means the self. It can sometimes mean the consciousness. Sometimes it can be the mind. Sometimes it can be in the body. Okay? Those striving, the unself-controlled and indiscriminate ones, do not see the consciousness. So, cha and yatanta yoginaha, yatanta yogina, the yogis who strive, pashyanti, they see, enam, this, atmani avasthitam, this, they see this residing in their own body. See what? The reflected consciousness. Akritatmanaha, akritatmanaha refers to the indiscriminate ones who do not, the unself-control. Akrita means action. Atmanaha means those who are possessed of self-control, those who don't act indiscriminately. And achetasaha means indiscriminate. So chetasaha means good mind. Achetasaha means indiscriminate. So those striving, yatanto api, those striving, the unself-controlled and indiscriminate ones, do not see this consciousness. So in the next chapter, this action, very like brute force, going after this, it's called asura bhavam. There's a lot of energy, but they're indiscriminate and they don't have self-control, which is why they can't see the subtle. Now we've seen Brahman as all the jivas. Now we'll see Brahman as Jagat. First part, 7 to 11. I, the Brahman alone, is in the form of Chetana Jiva. Now, 12, 13, 14, 15. I, Brahman, am alone in the form of Achetana Jagat also. Or Brahman or Bhagavan is everything. Okay. Yadadityagatam tejaha jagat vasayate yachandramasi yachagnav tat tejo vitti mamakam. So what Bhagavan here is saying is, so again, what is Bhagavan? Just recap. Anybody can I just now said that. What is Bhagavan? Definition of Bhagavan. Anybody?
Maya plus Brahman.
Brahman. Wonderful, great. So Bhagavan is Maya plus Brahman. Maya is unmanifested matter. What shapes the matter into manifested form, like an atom or a beautiful flower vase, anything? What makes the electrons go around? That is the prince Brahman. Brahman is there in everything. That is what he's trying to illustrate. Even in the Achetana Maya, I am the one holding it in this form, making it into a shape, in a visible form, in a manifest form. So he says, Yet Aditya Gatam Tejaha, the brilliant light in the sun, um, Jagat Basayate, Akhilam Jagat Basayate, it illumines the entire world. Yet Chandramasi, and that light in the moon, Yet Cha Agnav, in the fire, Agni, Tat Tejaha Vidhi Mamakam, know that brilliant light to me. So the fire, I give brilliance to the fire. So that the power behind everything, what makes the electrons go around the nucleus, all that, that is that is Brahman. That power is Brahman. It's not the Maya. So you shouldn't be confused with the Maya here. Brahman, he says, is everything. Um, Gold is the cause of all ornaments. Remember, we saw Krishna wants to, here in the shloka, he wants to give a few examples to illustrate the creation. So he gives three examples because he's going to talk about everything, we'll never stop. So Surya Shakti, he solar power, then Chandra Shakti, he lunar power, and finally Agni Shakti, the power of the fire, all that know to be me. It's not to be confused with Maya. Energy and matter are manifested forms of Maya, but here Bhagavan refers to the brilliance, which forms the instrumental cause and not the material cause. Okay, so Brahman is essentially everything. All these are names and forms. The only thing is gold. Similarly, furniture, there's only one thing, which is wood. Everything else is name and form. It is Bhagavan which shapes this, it's Brahman which shapes this unmanifested Maya as manifested table, gold ornaments, everything. So Brahman is everything. Then Ghama Vishya Bhutani Dharayam Aham Ojasa Pushnami Chaushadi Sarpaha Somo Bhutva Rasatmakaha Gham Avishya Chabhutani Dharayami Aham Ojasa. Gham Avishya, entering the earth, Sarva Bhutani Dharayami, I sustain all beings with what? With my ojas, with my energy. Pushnami, I nourish. Aushadi Sarvaha, I nourish all the plants by becoming what? Somo Bhutva Rasatmakaha. So becoming the sapid, watery moon. So the whole the notion is the sap of the vegetable kingdom. There is in the Vedas, they believe the sap, it comes from the moon. Maybe it's because it's only at night the sap is produced. During the daytime, there's photosynthesis happening, and at nighttime, the sap is something like that. So, becoming the sapid, watery moon, I nourish all the plants. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritah Pranapana Samayuktah Pachamyannam Chaturpidam. Aham Vaishvanaraha Bhutva. Vaishvanaraha refers to the digestive fire. It's a very important shloka. So from this 14 through 20, many people chant before eating. Because you're eating, you need the digestive fire. Becoming the digestive fire, Vaishwanaraha Bhutva, Praninam Deham Ashritaha. I reside in the bodies of all beings. Prana, Apana, Samayuktaha, balancing Prana and Apana, the two pranas. Pachami, I cook, I digest four kinds of foods, that which we can like chew, then you can semi-solid, then liquid, all these things, they refer to the four kinds of foods. Okay, so some are hard like nuts, then like a porridge, semi-solid, then liquid. So those kind of foods they refer to. Pacham, I digest the four kinds of food. So literally, pacham means cook the four kinds of food by becoming the digestive fire. And this is a very beautiful verse. It is in Trishtup meter. Sarpasya chaham hridi sannivishtaha mattasmritir jnanamapohanamscha vedaischa sarpe ahameva vedyah vedantakrit veda videva chaham. I am seated in the hearts of all beings as the Atma. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishtaha. I am seated in the Sarvasya hridi, the hearts of everybody. Sannivishtaha, I am seated. Mattaha, from me comes smritihi, memory, jnanam, knowledge, apohanamscha, and even forgetfulness. Vedaischa sarve ahameva vedyaha. Ahameva vedya, I am to be known through all the Vedas. I alone am to, aham eva means I alone am to be known through all the Vedas. All the Vedas, only thing they talk about is me. Vedanta Krit, I am the initiator of the Vedanta tradition. I created the Vedanta tradition. Vedanta Krit, Veda Videva Chaham, and I am the knower of all the Vedas. So this memory, knowledge, and forgetfulness, it refers to the three states. Jnanam refers to the waking state, because the waking state, we gather fresh experiences. Smriti refers to the dream state, because in dream, we are not gathering anything new. We are projecting what we've already registered. Therefore, Smriti indicates swapna avastha, swapna, dream state. And apohanam means forgetfulness, and forgetfulness refers to sushupti, deep sleep. When your snow dims, everything is blank. So that is one you can just interpret as memory, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Forgetfulness, it's Bhagavan who provides forgetfulness. Imagine all the atrocities we did in the previous lifetimes. If we remember all that, it'll be terrible, right? We won't have peace of mind. So that's one interpretation. Another interpretation of memory, knowledge, and forgetfulness is the three states. Okay. With that, we will stop the class today.